So the board I have right here is a Simple Star board, and that's a company that is no longer in business, so I bought a bunch of cheap boards from them. And this is the Evil Clown graphic, which I have been writing a lot actually, so I thought it would be funny to make my own graphic. I'm just going to be using 4 spray cans of different colors, some tape, some sandpaper, a plastic bag for when we have to spray, and then a homemade stencil which we'll be making later. So let's just unwrap this bad boy and start sanding it down. So the board is sanded down now. I started out with some rougher sandpaper and then finished out with some finer. It wasn't to get rid of the graphic completely because you can still see it of course, but it was just to make the surface more obtainable of the paint and actually make it stick to the board. Graphic wise, I was thinking something old school, like a white background with maybe some silver stripes, then a red square in the middle with a black wolf logo. And that wolf logo is going to be the stencil we will be making after the first layer. So let's get some tape on the sides for a smooth edge and then get the first red layer going. Alright, so I forgot that I was buying cheap paint, so when this dries up we have to give it another layer because the graphic is still visible, but that's okay because then we have plenty of time to do the stencil. So let's go ahead and do that in the meantime. Alright, so for the stencil I'm going to be using just some see-through paper, and then I'll be trying to draw like a wolf graphic and then cut it out. Alright, so when you're cutting a stencil I suggest you have a knife that can actually cut through something. This was a really old blade and I didn't really have another, so but I got through it, and this is the stencil. And then you of course you also get 2 automatically, so that's kind of cool, but this is the one we're going to be using. So the first layer of the red paint has been drying for a bit, so it's time to give it the second layer. Now that we have the stencil, I'm just going to be placing it right in the middle. To make sure the stencil doesn't move, I'm going to apply some masking tape at the bottom and the top of the stencil. And then it's finally time to make the black wolf logo in the middle. Alright guys, so I cut out a small square just to cover up the wolf. And we are just going to tape that on there and then spray all over the board with white. And now for some silver stripes. So now I'm going to remove all of the tape and the stencil and let's get a look at the graphic. I'm really excited about this. So that turned out pretty much how I wanted it to, and just to finish off this board we're going to be spraying with some clear lacquer, and it needs 1 layer every 2 hours and it needs 3 layers of things. Time for layer number 2. The final layer. Alright, so this is how the board turned out. I'm really stoked on this graphic. There are a few things on the board that makes it obvious that it is a homemade board, but I'm pretty stoked on it, and that's why I made another one. I made this one. So this was a really fun process, and if you guys want to try something like this and make a board yourself, let me know. Comment here on YouTube, tag me on Instagram, I don't know, DM me, anything. I want to see what you guys come up with if you decide to do this. So thanks for watching, give it a like if you like this video, and then I'll just see you guys in the future.